Welcome to Restaurant Influencers presented by Entrepreneur. My name is Sean Walchef, founder of Cali BBQ and Cali BBQ Media. In life, in the restaurant business, and in the new creator economy, we learn through lessons and stories. We are grateful to Toast, our primary technology partner, not only at our restaurants, but for so many restaurants in the United States, for believing in the power of storytelling, for helping us with our digital hospitality in our restaurants, and for giving us the opportunity to have conversations like the ones that we're going to have today. Sometimes I have to pinch myself because of this show, I get to meet the biggest rock stars in hospitality and storytelling, and I get to share their stories with you, the listener. So thank you guys for being on the show. Today, we are going to welcome Chef Enrique Limardo and Ezequiel Vázquez-Ger. They are both with the 7 Reasons Group out of Washington, D.C., rock stars in their own right. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sean. Happy to be here.
Seriously grateful to have you. So you can find them at 7 Reasons DC. You can find both of them on Instagram, which I'm very excited to talk about because very infrequently do leaders of this caliber post content like these two gentlemen. But we're going to get into their storytelling, why they do what they do, why they've built what they've built. But first, I'm going to start with a quote in their 40 under 40. So there was a quote from the Washington Post. They made the top 40 leaders under 40, and it's Ezequiel Vázquez-Ger, a native of Argentina, co-founded 7 Reasons Group in 2019 with 5 million raised, but no restaurant experience to his name. Today, the former political consultant and economist, in concert with co-founder Chef Enrique Limardo, have built a celebrated group of restaurants and bars, from Michelin star and repeatedly awarded 7 rooms to Imperfecto, serving the likes of Joe Biden, U2's Bono, and Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, and generating $13.2 million in revenue in 2022. Imagine what they're going to do in 2023. Gentlemen, tell me, let's start with the favorite random question. Where in the world is your favorite stadium, stage, or venue?
So I'm originally from Argentina. I grew up there. I moved to the US 13 years ago, but growing up, I went to every single River Plate game from the age I was, I think, 13, 14 until the day I left the country. And every time I go back, I have my seats at the stadium and I cannot miss a game. So
really?
my favorite stadium is definitely the Monumental, the most beautiful and bigger stadium in Latin America. We just went through a huge renovation. It's a spectacular place.
How many does it seat? How many fans?
Around 86,000.
86,000. Well, since you spoke first, we're going to go to Argentina. Plus, I have a huge place in my heart, not only for Argentina, but also Venezuela. But I'll explain that later. We're going to go to Argentina. We're going to talk to Entrepreneur. We're going to talk to Toast, talk to some of the biggest hospitality brands. But one of the cool things about doing this show is I get to talk to people all over the globe that believe in the game within the game of hospitality. It's one thing to build a restaurant. It's another thing to build a community. It's another thing to tell a story. I'm going to put you both on center pitch and say, how did you meet and what is 7 Reasons?
Well, the way that we met was because I started in Baltimore. I arrived to United States about 10 years ago. And I started running a restaurant in Baltimore called Alma at that moment. And Ezequiel came into the restaurant, and one night he approached me like, hey, the chef can come out and I would love to talk to him, you know. And we started talking, and he asked me like, why you are not in Washington, D.C.? I said, I don't know, man. I don't have the money. I just here in Baltimore, I just left my country. I left everything behind. So if you have the money, we can do it. But, you know, in my experience, probably more than 25 years in this, in this industry, you heard that a lot, you know, people
Sure.
that approach you, try to, because that's a common dream to have a restaurant. So I left the conversation that, and like 1 week or 2 weeks after, he called me and he said me like, can you come down to DC? We can talk more about it. I said, well, probably this guy's like going serious. Let's do it. We sit in a cafe and this crazy guy approached me like, We are going to open the restaurant here in DC. I don't care. I don't want to go any more times to Baltimore. I don't want to spend time going to Baltimore. I love your food. I'm going to let behind everything I have been doing, and we are going to open the restaurant. I said, okay, this guy is crazy enough, so I will do it. I will do it. And that is the funny story about it, how we met each other, and then everything. He's very sharp, smart. Like he never stop. I'm also a workaholic, and he's always pushing for new ideas. So he pushed me always to go further. And when we start the project, we will looking for a location, that kind of thing. So he did a really good job about researching in DC. I think you visit like 140 restaurants just to know better, the size of the restaurants, amount of items, how many seats, hourly they operate. So we started discussing, and I said, okay, this is a good job. So we can create a restaurant that should be successful from day one. That is very difficult. And then I started discussing, names and that. And particularly, I am a very mystic person. Sometimes I believe in magic. I'm a really strange. I believe in ovnis. The kind of bullshit. And for me, the number 7 is so strong in whatever sense that means. In every culture, the 7 is the number of the seeker. Is a person that always is looking for more. And we say, okay, we are agree on 7, but we cannot call the restaurant like just 7. And then I realized, okay, why everybody goes to a restaurant for a reason. So why don't call it 7 reasons? And at that point, we create our own reasons, and then we create like a speech between us and the customers. We have our own, and the customers, they will have their own. Yes. And then we start that conversation, and that's how 7 reasons came up.
Ezequiel, given your background as a political consultant, an economist, a writer, why would you be crazy enough to get into this crazy business?
So when I will say that when I was working as a political consultant, my job was to fix other people's problems. At one point,
okay, that's fair enough.
Other people's problems and get in the middle of problems that were not mine.
You picked a perfect business.
We
have plenty of problems.
What is the business where I'm going to have the most problems? I love fixing problems. I cannot live without problems. No, this is real. Every time like we have a problem and everyone's freaking out, sometimes I freak out too. But there's nothing that satisfies me more than fixing a problem. So that's one of the reasons. But honestly, the main reason is when I tried Enrique's food and I saw his talent. I knew that opening a restaurant with him was going to be a success. Food is not the only variable. A lot of things has to be in place. The experience has to be amazing, and the business side, the numbers have to be good. But being the food, the starting point, I knew that it was really difficult to fail when he was the one putting his inspiration and his creativity behind the dish.
It's one thing to try someone's food, an incredible chef. It's another thing to meet the man. What were the things that you were looking for in the man and the business partner?
I think that, the thing that made us successful so far is that
Don't throw me under the bus, huh?
No. I know nothing about food, but I know when I eat something, if I like it and if it's good. And I know that whatever he cooks and puts in a plate is going to be, people are going to like it. Enrique knows absolutely nothing about numbers, but he knows that the paycheck every month, every quarter is pretty good. So it's like a blind trust. I trust what he does. He trusts what I do. He knows where we are, and I know what he's doing. But I think it's a great combination of the business aspect and the culinary aspect. It's just a great match.
One of the themes of the show is that we're bigger than a restaurant. Anyone that's listening to this, if you're a single unit restaurant owner, if you're a multi-unit restaurant owner, if you're in the restaurant business, it's so much more than just taking care of our village, taking care of our community. when you started this idea, it sounded like it was more than one restaurant that you wanted to build.
I don't. I mean, we didn't know.
You didn't know.
Of course, the idea. I mean, I personally wanted to start a business, create a business, and grow a business, but I never knew what exact path that was we were gonna take. But yeah, given the success of 7 Reasons, and then the way we navigated the pandemic, it was evident that one was not enough, that we wanted more. And this is something also I can't stop. I don't know if I'm gonna be in this industry forever. If at some point I might do some other things, but I know I'm never gonna stop. And if there are no other things, I'm gonna continue. We're gonna continue opening restaurants. At some point, we're probably gonna leave DC. I guess the vision, I think, it's always been the same: creating great culinary experience, different culinary experience that differentiate from whatever offering there is out there, and that we add value to the guest. The exact path might change through time. Honestly, although I think I knew we were going to open more, I never thought we were going to open 5 in 5 years, or 6 in 5 years, in 4 years. The last couple of years they've been crazy, and the process we're going now too. We're going to open the 6th one in a month and a half, and we're going to move the first one to a new location by the end of the year. So it's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it.
Can you talk about the one?
You want to reopen the 7 Reasons overnight?
Overnight. So 7 Reasons, we're going to close it one night, and we're going to open it in a new location the following night. And we're not going to tell anyone when that's going to. People are going to realize that morning.
Can you tell me about 7 Reasons, the original restaurant, the first one? Because we've had this interview scheduled for a while now, and I've been doing my due diligence, learning about it. And from what I've read, it seems like you were ready to put it to bed, to retire 7 Reasons. Is that correct?
No. So
it was never going to close permanently.
No,
it was
never,
just
never,
a location.
We're moving locations. Okay. I don't know when this is going to be actually released, but people already know, and we're actually going to announce it in the next few days.
How are you going to announce it?
We're going to do a press article with a media outlet, and we're going to put up the banners in the new location where we're already started the build out.
So there's no spies?
I like mystery. I like intrigue.
Mystery and intrigue.
I like people wondering what's going on. So we decided to create this campaign called The Last Dance. And the campaign was basically 7 Reasons, the way you know it now, is going to close its doors by the end of the year. So come back to 7 Reasons one last time. Let's dance together. Let's have fun. We brought all the best dishes from the last 4 years to the menu. But yeah, we never intended to say that we were going to permanently close. We're just moving locations.
Okay. Chef Enrique, I would love for you to talk, if you're willing to, about the hardship of leaving your country. It's easy for people to watch this show, to see you on Entrepreneur, Michelin Star, all these amazing restaurants, and not know the struggle that you went through to get to where you are.
Yeah, it was a very tough path, I would say, because in my country, I used to be like, people know me. So, but, the political situation, economic situation in that country, suddenly my just next door neighbor was killed in my door because they robbed him and they killed him. So I said at that moment that I need to leave. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to leave. I left behind my family. I came to United States, as I said, like 10 years ago, with a dream, like try to do something with my skills. If not, probably I could do plumbing, I don't know, in constructions, whatever. But always I keep attached to my path because it's my my strength and everything. And at the beginning was very difficult because I was trying to get a special visa, because a talent visa, that is the O1, but that didn't came out well. So I spent like 6 months working for someone, was like a little scam, So I spent 6 months living in a basement, working 18 hours a day, like crazy things. I mean, was super tough, alone, without knowing anybody. Um, but suddenly, life give you opportunities, and chances are like odd. One woman was in Venezuela looking for a chef because she wants to open a Latin restaurant in the United States. And she was eating in a restaurant that the owner and the chef, it was a friend of mine. And when she approached him, he said, "Hey, but you have the best of the best. You have it right next door because you are from Baltimore. He's now, well, I was in South Washington, whatever." And we start connecting, and
Wow.
and we start from the scratch, everything, design, name, all in that restaurant, and was very successful for several years. I'm very blessed, and for me, it was like a very huge trampoline in this country. And suddenly, speaking with lawyers and all of that, I got my O1 visa, and now I have my permanent resident. So, but it's tough. But I always, if I have to say an advice to everybody that is going to migrate to another country, you have to adapt. You have to have the resilience spirit inside of you, and you have to keep whatever keep to that path. You should not change it, because when you change it, you start losing. Even if the wall it seems like indestructible, you have to be like water, drop by drop, it's going to open a hole in a rock. So, but you have to believe in yourself, and you have to go straight forward no matter what, with your talent and where the shit
Are you a man of faith or a man of magic?
Wow, it's a combination, but I don't trust on lucky. Lucky for
No,
me doesn't exist. For me,
no.
lucky is a combination of two different paths: preparation and opportunity. So for me, it's like that.
Huge news. Toast, our primary technology partner at our barbecue restaurants in San Diego, and the primary technology partner of so many of the guests that we have on this show, have announced they are expanding their business offerings with Google. So now, if you search on Google Maps and you sign up for Toast Tables or Toast Waitlist, you will have the opportunity to improve the digital hospitality experience of the guest, allow them to book through the maps into the Toast reservation system. One of the biggest difficulties that restaurant guests have is when they search for your restaurant and they want a table, they do not have an easy solution to book a table or to get on a wait list. This is huge news for the restaurant industry, huge news for guests, and huge news for you, the restaurant owner. Check out Toast Tables today and find out the new integrated solution that they have. This is something that we've wanted for a long time. How do you integrate reservations, wait lists into your point of sale? Toast has done it. Check it out. Ezequiel, I would love to know more about your background, specifically public relations, and how it relates to what you did in the past, in your previous life, and how you continue to tell the story now in the new ventures that you do.
How I mix both things. So when I was working as a political consultant or a public affairs consultant, most of what I did was create campaigns for clients through using different resources, from press to connections to government of actors, etc., to pursue a goal. And at the end, when we were meeting someone or building these campaigns to pursue that goal, what we were doing is telling a story. I think I became pretty creative doing that, and I applied that to absolutely everything we do. We're very active in the restaurants. We don't believe in just putting out a menu and leaving it forever. We feel a restaurant has to tell a story and find new ways and new channels to tell the story all the time. And that could be through new things in the menu, new creations, but also through different events or different kind of experiences. And I think like my public affairs and the way I approach, how to communicate with different audiences the way I did it before. It's similar somehow as the way we approach things now. Understanding who the customer is, or what kind of experiences each kind of customer is looking for, and how to package and sell that.
Can you tell me about your strategy or your reasons behind sharing your story personally on social media?
No, I don't think I have a strategy there. I don't know. I always was very open about who I am, who my family is. I have nothing to hide. I'm a terrible, as you probably saw, I'm a terrible wake surfer. But I love showing how bad I am and making fun of myself, but improving too.
But I think that's, for anybody that listens to this show, they know how much it means when a leader is willing to show vulnerability. Like I said, it's easy to go on Instagram or Facebook or the internet and see the great sides of business owners and entrepreneurs. But when you show the human side, of you being a dad, you being a husband, you falling down, it reminds us that in life we fall down. I mean, it's what I teach my son and my daughter. I have a 6-year-old boy and a 4-year-old daughter, and I talk to them about the Batman principle. When he falls down, why do we fall? We fall so we can learn how to get back up.
Exactly. At the end, that has a lot to do. I mean, the reason we call Imperfecto our second restaurant Imperfecto is because our philosophy in life is the only way to progress is by making mistakes, learning from the mistakes, and moving forward. We are imperfect as human beings. If we were perfect, it would be boring. There would be nothing else to learn, nothing else to do. But that imperfection, that means the being imperfect, making mistakes, learning from the mistakes, fixing mistakes, fixing problems, which I love, and continuing. That I think that's our philosophy that we share, and that we're guided by that in every aspect of our lives, including the business.
I think what's really fascinating to me, and I think something that, the viewers will be able to take away, and anyone that's listening to the show, is when you make this deliberate decision on your brand, you're picking names for your restaurant. That's not just a name as a placeholder, but it's a name as the beginning of a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And if we have an extra minute, I can, for example, all of our restaurants have a story to tell, and each name that came after the previous one has a reason to be. So 7 reasons for us is our origin, is where we come from, is Enrique's background and training in Latin American cuisine. Imperfect is our human philosophy, our human nature. Joy is the reason why we do things, or how we do things. Is the joyfulness and the happiness with which we work and we do what we do. Saga is the continuation. For us, saga is like the link between the past, the present, and the future. It's Enrique's background and studies in Spain, and how he mixed that with all his travels and his Latin American influence and cooking. Quadrant, it's a name we inherited when we took the space, but it had a very powerful meaning, because quadrant for us is the DC quadrant. That is DC. It's the city that opened the doors to us.
Yeah.
So as you can see, every restaurant is like the next chain in the story, and has a very powerful meaning to us. And we try to share this with people too.
Chef Enrique, I would love for you to talk about what it meant to get a Michelin star. First ever.
That is huge.
First ever for Venezuela, or second in history for a Venezuelan chef.
Yeah.
First in the United States.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
unbelievable.
For me, always was a dream, because I used to work in Michelin star restaurants in Spain for a long time, and always was obsessed with that. But so fucking crazy. So I think that is a good motivation, but you cannot drive your life just because of it. Yeah. I try to explain that to my cooks, my other leaders around me, because it's hard. 2 years ago, before we got it, we were almost sure we are going to get it. You are going to get it. Customers say, Enrique, they're going to get it this year. So I start believing it. I never believed in that before. I start believing it. And I was completely sure. And when they realized that we don't got it, I cry. I went completely mad, drunk. I was vomiting on the fucking floor. And the next day, I just realized this is stupid. I mean, I have been working my entire life to deliver something great, and have to be a consequence of it. No matter what, you cannot pursue that just because you have that star attaching in a wall.
Yeah.
So the year after that, they gave it to us, and I didn't believe it. Also.
This part of the story.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
I had hopes, that we were gonna get it. So I came to the restaurant very early.
Like verified calls, like you vetted them.
No, not calls. I mean, no. I mean, we had no idea, but I had a hope that we were gonna get it. So I came to the restaurant very early. I opened my computer. I started refreshing and Google Michelin, Washington D.C. Refresh. And I did that for 4 or 5 hours,
Parenthesis. That day, I decide they are going to release it. I decide to stay in home, lies down, just see a movie. I don't fucking care. Tomorrow is another day. I keep working hard. That's it.
So out of the days, I was refreshing, waiting for a call or waiting Enrique to get a call. I knew, at one point we submitted information that they requested. So they had my phone and Enrique's phone. So I said, well, they're going to call me. If Enrique doesn't pick up, they're going to call me. They never called. Or maybe they call Enrique, but he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. He's watching Netflix.
1 p.m. or 2 p.m., I get a Google alert, imperfecto. Michelin got. I'm like, what? They didn't even call, motherfuckers. At least heads up, So
Google's the best. Google's the best alert for sure.
You called me like 50 times.
I called like 50 times. He didn't pick up the phone until like 4 hours later.
Yeah, I was like, I start seeing my phone like, I don't care. So suddenly I got like an alert in the phone, and Ezequiel told me like, hey, we got it. And I said, this motherfucker is gonna play me around.
He's playing with me.
I'm fucking mad. But then I start scrolling down the phone. I said, Jesus Christ, like 100 messages. I cried. I just came to the restaurant immediately to celebrate with all the people. It was like an amazing sensation. It's unbelievable, and I loved it. We achieved it because the team and all the support that is around me. I'm very pleased and grateful for that. But after that feeling, you realize that it's just the base of the mountain. That's another different feeling also. Because the first feeling is you achieve it. You are in the peak. You are at the top. And then when you start looking around all the details, you realize, oh, shit, this is just the fucking bottom. And now we have to push harder. We need to start climbing more. And, well, that's another goal. And that's fine with me. That kind of challenge that is always, pushing to do better.
When you think of all of the people that are in maybe a more difficult situation, not just in Latin America, but wherever they are in the world, and you think of the struggles that you went through and the achievement of what you got, what kind of advice, if somebody somehow comes across this show, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify or podcasts, and they're struggling, they're working their ass off, opening and closing.
You can never stop believing, never. You have to have dream, but with goals, and you need consistency. You need, that commitment with yourself, no matter what. And if I can help, I will. If I can give an advice, always my doors are open. When we got that Michelin star, I received like 1,000 calls from my country, because that's a huge inspiration, because my country has been struggling for 20 plus years. That was very emotional for me, give them like hope that can be done. And it is. I mean, we just got it, so it can be done. But the path is not easy. You have to keep working, and
now that it has been done, like you said, you're at the bottom. You're at the bottom. With the weight of the responsibility, because now there's the expectation.
A lot. But I'm fine with that because I love what I do. So for me, it's not like I'm waking up every day because I'm going to my job. For me, it's my style of life. I love what I do, and I will do it again and again and again until eternity. So I don't care.
I would love for you guys to talk about the bigger goal, because it's one thing to run a restaurant, to take care of people in real life. So many of the restaurants that we work in, they work with consumer packaged goods, delivery, storytelling, media, all different types of ways to grow revenue streams for your restaurant group. How are you looking big picture besides physically moving outside of Washington, D.C. and opening other locations?
In what sense?
In what sense is what is the strategy? What's the longer term?
I mean, I think the strategy is like staying true, close to. I mean, never forgetting our values, how we got here. You know, focusing a lot on quality, making sure the business aspect it's always in good track. But yeah, I think it's about never losing our north, and our north is we're here to offer great food, great service in a great, vibrant ambience in every single place, and make sure that those three things always remain consistent. Never losing creativity, always being flexible to switch things, to pivot things, to create new things when it's necessary, and always putting I guess the client's needs or the client's wants first. Knowing not necessarily knowing what the client wants and giving the client what he wants, but doing something that we know is going to be appreciated by the people sitting at the table.
Can you tell us a story about one of the most famous people that have come to dine at your establishments?
There's been a few.
I know. Give me the most memorable story.
I know. Maybe when President Biden came, we knew that there was a possibility for him to come, but they didn't confirm until 15 minutes before. And those last 15 minutes were crazy. It was like, first they blocked like 4 blocks around the restaurant, so people couldn't even drive to the restaurant. I think you were walking.
No, they didn't allow me to get into the restaurant because I was at 7 Reasons, and I got my motorcycle. Okay, when Ezequiel called me, hey, Biden is here. So I get the motorcycle like crazy, and they stopped me 4 blocks away. I left the motorcycle there, and there were the security service. No, you cannot get in. It's my restaurant.
It's my restaurant.
And the guy said, no, I don't care. You cannot go. No, what the fuck are you talking about? I need to be there. So, but then, I passed through, I don't know, like 20 Secret Service until I get to the restaurant. But was very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Are you allowed to share what you served?
Yeah. Also, they put one of the Secret Service inside the kitchen, and he was like surround me, and every single step, everything. He followed every single step until they took the plate and put it to him. And
did he enjoy the meal?
Yeah, he enjoyed it a lot.
So it was funny because at one point I walk into the kitchen and I ask him, "Are you having you're having the night of your life, right? Food is great," and he tells me. No, I think that was a good one. Yeah.
Can you tell me what do each of you do personally? One of the things we talk to leaders about, especially in the hospitality space, is our DNA is to take care of people. We take care of the people that come into our restaurant. We take care of our teams. We take care of our families, everybody else, but very rarely do we take care of ourselves as men, as leaders. What does each of you do to take care of yourself? Or do you? Let's be honest.
Me personally, health-wise, I think it's about eating in a balanced way, and drinking reasonably.
Every day.
Reasonably.
No, not exceeding. Eating 3 times a day in a reasonable way. And having looks with here and there, it's okay. Sports-wise, I like everything water related. I wakeboard, I ski, I wake surf. I love the water. And aside from that, I love soccer, so I watch every single soccer game I can, especially my home team, River Plate. And I spend a lot of time playing soccer with my son and taking him to practice like 5 days a week.
That's awesome.
That's yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's always important to take care of my mind because I have a very restless mind. So one of the things that I do is play music. I like to play guitar and bass guitar. So people don't understand how I have the time to do it, but I sleep very less, just a few hours. But for me, it's the way that I can disconnect myself with the world when I go to play music. Another thing that I do is draw or paint. I love that because I have a little background in architecture. I studied architecture also in Venezuela. And I spend time with my kids, going to Ezekiel house and spend time in the water, or I try to eat very healthy because I taste so many different things every day. So I try to be very healthy. I do sometimes workout, and that's the way I try to keep that balance.
When we look back on this interview here on Entrepreneur 2023, if we're looking 5 years into the future, how big is the restaurant group? What cities are you in? What's the dream?
I think, our goal right now is to take one of the concepts that we think is going to be 7 Reasons and take it to a different city. We like Miami in the US. We also are looking at some cities in Europe, Madrid, London. Nothing concrete, just ideas, plans, but those are markets that we definitely like. And I think the goal is to start replicating with what we did in DC, maybe not with all the concepts, but with 7 Reasons, Imperfecto, or the ones that fit better in each place, and definitely continue to grow. How many 5 years from now? I don't know, maybe.
If we keep this path.
I don't know, we'll see.
Or we die during that path. We will be dead during the path, or we make it. But,
have you made any mistakes that you've learned from scaling as quickly as you have in the last
a lot.
What's the biggest mistake that you will not, or you hope not to repeat?
I think we committed. When I can identify, I think we committed every single time, and I think we're going to continue to do it. Is that we always, when we sign a deal, we always put a lot of pressure on opening as soon as possible. So we are always so we're always running last minute, like big time. And sometimes I think, there's no reason to rush this much. We could have waited 6 more months. Nothing changed. Nothing would have changed. But I think it has to also with the excitement of signing something.
Excitement.
Right.
It's the excitement. You get more done under deadline.
Yeah. See, I don't know what you think then.
No. That's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. He always asked me for how long you need a kitchen, and I always said at least 1 month. And he said, no, it's going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's going to be 15 days. Shit. Okay. But let's do it. We have a very strong team. That's why all of them, they are very reliable. So that's why we have been doing this, because we have the people that care and the people, they have the knowledge, and we can rely on them, and that's why that is happening.
Who does the hiring?
We do it. Part of ourselves, we have our director of operations is very much involved in hiring across the restaurants, and the general managers too. But we try to be on top as much as possible, especially on the final stages.
What's the key quality that you look for when you're bringing someone onto the team?
I think there are many qualities, and I think not our challenge, or our what we need to learn, and what I personally try to do is understand what are the goals that specific person has. Some people want to work in the restaurant industry just because they want the money, they do their work, they're great at what they do, but that's all they want. But for me, when I feel really excited is when I find someone that has a goal that shares what his personal or her personal goals are, and allows me to be part of help him how to achieve those goals. I mean, I would be very happy if one day someone that started working for us and told us on day one that at some point he wants to own his own restaurant, if he finally do it. You know, that would be like my biggest success somehow, you know, because at the end, I don't think we hire people for them to stay forever.
Yep.
If they don't want to. We hire people to I mean, for them to help us, but also for us to help them achieve their goals. And it's, at one point we're successful in that, and someone who's been working for us ends up opening something, and we had a small and we feel ourselves that we contributed towards that. That would be amazing.
And on the culinary side, what do you look for?
Yeah, from my side, I would say that one of the key factors when I hire somebody is they want my job. They have the hungry to have my job.
Yes.
Because that, for me, in a long term, is the way that I can be retired. If not, I will be and that, for me, one of the key factors. And have to be a person very organized, meticulously. I don't care if they don't have too much experience, but because they will have it no matter what if they start working with us. But if they have the commitment, passion, you know, and that sense of I want his job no matter what, that's the right guy.
It's amazing. So every single week on Wednesday and Friday, it's a chance for you, the listener, someone that's watching the show, to join us on the social audio app Clubhouse. So every Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we have a micro community of digital hospitality leaders from all over the world, restaurant owners, people that are sales professionals, marketing professionals, technologists. And we give a social shout out. This week's social shout out goes to Scott Turner of Auden Hospitality. Scott joins us every single week from across the pond. So Scott, we appreciate you. I want to give you both an opportunity. This is on Entrepreneur. Give one person, you each get to pick one specific person to give a shout out to, somebody that's gone above and beyond. We'll start with you, Chef Enrique. In your group, who in your group, who in the kitchen?
Who in the kitchen?
Yeah, one person.
Probably Rene.
Rene? Why?
Because he's the most, I don't know, he's like a tree, like an old fucking big tree, you know. His roots are very attached to the soil. He's organized, he's passionate. He has been working with me probably more than 15 years. He understands me like very fast. Probably it's him right now.
Awesome.
Or on the line, there are on the line like 3 or 4 more. That all of them, they are like amazing people.
Go ahead.
Nacho is another one. Nacho started with me in Alma. Then he opened 7 Reasons with me. He's like an amazing chef, very passionate. He's very creative. That's another. Mileda, that now is she running, Quadrant and Saga. She has been working with me for about another 6 or 7 years. She's a strong woman, smart. She knows numbers better than me because she used to be an accountant. So she understands a lot. She's always for me, no matter what. She is very committed with the company and, personally. Hennessy's that now is like the executive pastry chef of the group. She's always behind everything. She do, like silent work all the time with everybody in every single restaurant. That's another person. I don't know.
It feels unfair to.
It's unfair to everyone else. But it's unfair, but it's also why I love to be able to do this show, is because in the hospitality business, it's always the chef, it's always the owners. We get the chance to tell our story, but very infrequently do we get a chance in media to celebrate all the people that'll make us look good. I wouldn't be able to do this show if it wasn't for my Cali barbecue media team and my barbecue team. Like, they both allow me the time to not be in my restaurants to do what I do. So thank you for doing that. And how about for you, Ezequiel? One person. You only get one. He used 5.
I can mention a lot. No, I don't know. I would say Eric Du is our director of operations. He's been with us for almost 2 years now. Not the longest one in the company, but he's someone, he never says no. He sometimes he forgets things, but he always reacts very quickly when he realizes that he missed something. He's always looking for solutions. He never brings a problem to the table if he's not bringing a solution to. And he's someone who grew. He started being our general manager or assistant general manager at the beginning. I think he started as assistant general manager at Imperfecto. Then he grew into general manager. And last year he grew into director of operations. Wow. And he's really, really on top of every single aspect of every one of the restaurants.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, if you guys, if you want to get in touch with me, it's at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. If you listen to the show, we appreciate it. Love to hear about you, your restaurant, whatever you're building. If you're a content creator in the food space, sales professional, marketing professional, we appreciate you listening to this show. How can people keep in touch with you, both of you gentlemen?
Email.
WhatsApp, Instagram. What's up? What's your Instagram for? So we'll put it in the show notes.
It's Vázquez-Ger. And I'm sure you're gonna spell it.
We'll spell it out for the Americans. And for you, chef?
For me, it's my name, Enrique Limardo. That's it. At Enrique Limardo, Instagram and WhatsApp. I'm very bad in emails, and you hate me for that.
But you're more of a text person. Text you or call? Would you prefer a text or a call?
Probably both, but WhatsApp.
But not an email. But definitely.
I'm very bad on technology and all of that. So I always call through WhatsApp, and all my friends said, "Why you call through WhatsApp?" I don't know. It's the only thing that I use.
Well, we appreciate you both at 7 Reasons Group, 7 Reasons DC. I'm sure. Are you guys always hiring? I'm guessing always recruiting talent. Yes. All right. Well, if you're interested, go check them out. We also had Tia Ivanovic from Immigrant Food. She was on the show earlier. So thank you hopefully you guys can check out that episode, but we appreciate both of you gentlemen. Thank you so much for what you're building. I can't wait to see what you build in the years to come. If you or anyone from your organization makes it to San Diego, please come and get some barbecue. Come enjoy. We appreciate you.
And next time you're in DC, please let us know.
I can't wait. I can't wait to come see one of your restaurants.
Sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The best way that you can help us with the show is to subscribe and write a review. We love the opportunity to connect with you no matter where you are on the globe, no matter what restaurant you are running. Please send us a DM on social at Sean P. Walchef. If you are interested in toast, if you want to improve your digital hospitality, please send me a DM. I will get you in touch with a local toast representative. We appreciate you listening to this show. The best way that you can help the show is share it with a friend, and we will catch you all next week, or we will see you on one of the digital playgrounds that we call social media.